GRP Online presents Abraham Faith Confirmed. After these things, God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham." And he said, "Here I am." He said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you." So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took two of his young men with him, and his son Isaac. And he cut wood for the burnt offering and rose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from a distance. Then Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey. I and the boy will go over there and worship and come again to you." And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So they went both of them together. And Isaac said to his father Abraham, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." He said, "Behold, the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for a burnt offering?" Abraham said, "God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son." So they went both of them together. When they came to the place of which God had told him, Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood, bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar, on top of the wood. Then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, "Abraham, Abraham." And he said, "Here I am." He said, "Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of that place, "The Lord will provide," as it is said to this day, "On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided." And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you. And I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven and as this sand that is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice." So Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham lived at Beersheba. Hey everyone, let's talk about something we all struggle with: waiting. Specifically, waiting for God to come through on a promise. We often look at figures like Abraham and think, wow, what amazing faith. But we forget the hardest part of his journey wasn't just leaving his home. It was the long, silent years asterisk before asterisk Isaac was born. Think about it. God promised Abraham he'd be the father of a great nation. But for decades, nothing happened. He and Sarah just got older. There was no physical sign, no confirmation. Just the original promise. That's where real faith is forged, isn't it? In the gap between the promise and the proof. Abraham's faith wasn't a one-time event. It was a daily choice to trust God's word over his circumstances. He had to believe God was working even when he couldn't see it. This is such a powerful lesson for us today. Maybe you're waiting for a breakthrough, a healing, or for a prayer to be answered. It's easy to get discouraged when all you see is, well, nothing. You might feel like you're just getting older, and the promise feels further away than ever. But this is your Abraham moment. This is your chance to choose faith over sight. God's timing is not our timing, but his promises are always true. Your season of waiting is not a season of inaction for God. He is working behind the scenes, preparing things you can't even imagine. The most profound acts of faith are often the quietest, the daily decision to hold on, to keep believing, to trust his character even when you can't trace his hand. So don't give up. Your Isaac is coming. Keep trusting in the promise, not the timeline. If this message encouraged you today, I'd love for you to join our community. Hit that subscribe button and let's keep growing in faith together. Thanks for watching.